So in the last video, I talked about the reverted changes to Survival Hunter and how the reverted changes were actually really bad, or at least the change to Mongoose Bite was really bad in this rework of Mongoose Bite. There's a lot of talk, I talked about it too, about it being reverted more closely back to the Dragonflight version, but in actuality, Mongoose Bite is actually becoming kind of a worse version of what we have in Dragonflight. And I got a lot of feedback on the last video. I asked you guys if you had any opinions on this, because I would love to know if there was something that I didn't see about Mongoose Bite in the new version that we got here being better than what we got with the rework. And a lot of people kept commenting that we have something called Bloody Claws now, which I did not have selected in the last video for a specific reason, but you can actually see that Bloody Claws makes it so that kill command extends the duration of Mongoose Fury by 1.5 seconds, which means that we can actually get more Mongoose Bites out with Bloody Claws. And I have a couple of arguments to why this talent here is actually making Mongoose Bite even worse in this particular build here. The first argument is that we now are forced into spending another talent point in order to get the exact same version we have as in Dragonflight. We have a new playstyle in this new Survival Hunter, especially focused around Explosive Shot, so I would have picked this over here instead in order to increase the output of my Explosive Shot when it comes to my rotation. But because now, with the rework to our offensive rotation, we have to pick Bloody Claws in order to get a somewhat decent version of Mongoose Bite, I'm now forced into picking another talent that I would not have picked in the rework. Not the rework, but the rework, the previous version, right? So we're now forced into picking another talent in order to get the Dragonflight version of Mongoose Bite. Because, and this is something that a lot of people missed as well, in Dragonflight, Mongoose Fury is 14 seconds. So it's 14 seconds until the stack runs out. In this rework, it's 10 seconds, meaning that we're losing 4 seconds. That's almost a third of the buff going out the window at its default version, right? Which means that we have 4 seconds less to get Mongoose Bites out during those stacks. So with Bloody Claws, we're not getting more Mongoose Bites than Dragonflight. In fact, we now have to work harder to get the same amount of Mongoose Bites as we get in Dragonflight. So let me just demonstrate this, because I need people to understand what exactly has happened with this rework here, because it's so much worse than Dragonflight, right? So we go up to a target dummy, and basically now with the Bloody Claws, you have to weave back and forth between kill command and Mongoose Bite, meaning that if you only focus on that and not on your bombs, not on Explosive Shot, not on Flanking Strike, but just focus on Mongoose Bite and kill command, because that is what we gotta do now with this talent here. Otherwise, we do not extend the duration of Mongoose Fury, right? So we have to keep using kill command. I love how, at least in my opinion, the rework gave us a fun reason to click kill command, because we would build up to a Flanking Strike. Whereas this rework now makes it so that we're forced into clicking kill command if you pick this talent here, which makes now kill command feel really bad and forced upon you if you want to get the maximum damage out using Mongoose Bite. I don't know, that's just a personal opinion. Some people think it's really fun to build up those seconds, or half a seconds I should say, of Mongoose Fury, but that's personal opinion. So if I go up to a target dummy, first of all, I would just be spending my using my rotation in order to get the bombs out, to get my Explosive Shot out, to get those out of the way. I would maybe press my cooldowns. But let's just focus on the mechanic here with Bloody Claws, right? So basically, I start using Mongoose Bite to build up my stack. So we get the stack, boom, kill command, Mongoose Bite, kill command, Mongoose Bite, kill command, Mongoose Bite, and I'm only focusing on that. I'm ignoring all other spells and mechanics here, okay? So we got 5 stacks. And I think at an average, I counted that I managed to get out maybe 2, if I'm very lucky, 3 extra attacks out of Mongoose Bite with that Bloody Claws talent. So 2 to 3 for lucky, by the way, extra attacks out of Mongoose Bite. And again, we're basing this on the fact that we reach 5 stacks, and how many can I get out at 5 stacks, right? So in Dragonflight, we have 14 seconds of Mongoose Fury. In the War Within, we now have 10 seconds, which means that with those 2 extra attacks that I get on average, it means that I have to spend 4 kill commands to get half a second, because half a second times 4 is 2 seconds, which means that I have time to get maybe 2 more attacks out. So I have to press 4 kill commands in order to get the same amount of Mongoose Bites out that I maybe typically would get in Dragonflight. So in Dragonflight, just to give people a very easy comparison here, in Dragonflight, if I go up to a target and I just spam Mongoose Bite as the only thing, I might weave in like 1 extra kill command to get a little bit of extra focus so I can get that last Mongoose Bite out. But if I only press Mongoose Bite, I can do the exact same amount of damage as I do in this version here, but now I'm forced to press kill command, Mongoose Bite, kill command, Mongoose Bite, kill command, Mongoose Bite, constantly. So they have added in a mechanic to make Mongoose Bite the same version as the one we have in Dragonflight, which people are very unhappy with, by the way. But now we're forced into this mechanic here that allow for us to no longer be pressing Explosive Shot, Wildfire Bomb. And you could say the same thing about Dragonflight, because we would only have to press Mongoose Bite to get those stacks up, right? But now it's this weird thing where in order to do the exact same thing as in Dragonflight, we now have to weave back and forth between spells. So yes, we do have Bloody Claws, and it does add an extra mechanic to our gameplay, but in the end, we're doing the same thing as we do in Dragonflight, at least when it comes to Mongoose Bite. So in my opinion, Mongoose Bite itself, just focusing on Mongoose Bite, not focusing on the fact that we get extra kill commands out, which does increase our damage, but just Mongoose Bite and that particular mechanic does not feel as good when it comes to our rotation, because we have to work harder in order to get the same effect as in Dragonflight. That's the only difference when it comes to Mongoose Bite and Mongoose Fury, right? But I do want to point out here that if you have to think about this for a little bit, there's of course an opener, so let's try that out. We do have Flanking Strike being just a separate spell now, and we have to try and think about this from a new perspective. That is just how we need to do things, right? We don't want to get stuck in a box thinking about things in one dimension. So Flanking Strike does also give us 2 stacks of Tip of the Spear, which is a very important mechanic that we have now. Well, we have it in Dragonflight too, but it is now becoming, I guess, a little bit more essential to our rotation because we have to constantly keep it up and stuff. So when it comes to the rotation here, I would typically, at least as I'm seeing it right now with this rework here, open up using a kill command to buff up Tip of the Spear to give my Explosive Shot some extra damage. Then I would use Flanking Strike in order to get 2 stacks of Tip of the Spear to spend on Wildfire Bombs. Then afterwards, I would go in and use 1 kill command and then start my Mongoose Bite, kill command, Mongoose Bite, kill command, back and forth until my bombs are up again, right? That's typically how I would do things, as I'm seeing it right now, of course. I haven't played so much around with this. So again, kill command, Explosive Shot, Flanking Strike, bomb, because we have 2 of the Spear, bomb, kill command, Mongoose Bite, 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 kill command, Mongoose Bite. I'm getting 2 stacks of bombs now, so now I would go into bomb, kill command, bomb, kill command, Mongoose Bite. And now we run out of the buff there, right? So that is how the rotation without cooldowns, by the way, I guess would look like. So there is definitely a rotation here with the rework. So even though Mongoose Bite, in my opinion, is a worse version, it does have some sort of synergy when it comes to the entire rotation. Again, this would not work if we have Death Chakram as well. Like, if the fact that we only have Explosive Shot and Wildfire Bomb is what makes this usable, right? And again, I'm not talking about getting the max amount of damage out, because yes, you can get damage out using this particular rework here, and it does synergize somewhat with what we have here. But again, I'm looking at this from a is it fun point of view. Is the new Mongoose Bite version fun to use in combat? In my opinion, I loved having a buff I had to watch. Some people commented that, oh well, it may have given us too much damage to have that buff constantly up, which I would rather have that buff to watch out for, and then once every 10 seconds press Mongoose Bite, and maybe have the buff give us a little less damage output. I would rather have that than constantly have to weave back and forth between this, because it locks me into a specific playstyle. Whereas if it was a buff that we had to watch out for and then reset once in a while, it means I can do so many other things in between that buff. So while those 10 seconds are counting down, I can freely do whatever I want in order to, you know, change the rotation a little bit more situationally. Because again, this is a target dummy. It's not hitting back. It's not letting me, like, it doesn't force me into kiting. It doesn't force me into other things. This playstyle, by the way, also forces us to use Aspect of the Eagle more often. So now that has become more of a part. Because if I'm fighting someone over here, my buff is counting down, right? I can't just, once we hit like maybe 1 second left on the buff, go in, use one Mongoose Bite, go out again. It doesn't work that way. My buff is gone. I could do that with the last version, right? Maybe this is more like a PvP take, I guess. But the last version of Mongoose Bite was so much better. It gave us more control in the fight. The whole reason why people complained about Flanking Strike being incorporated into Kill Command was that control was taken away from us, because now we were forced into Flanking Striking every third Kill Command. So every fourth time you click Kill Command, you would have to use a Flanking Strike, right? This is the same situation. We can no longer just go out and maybe use Aspect of the Eagle, use one Mongoose Bite. Oh, it reset now. We're good. No. Now we have to constantly weave back and forth, weave back and forth, weave back and forth in order to keep that going. That is our playstyle now, and we have to constantly do that. And it's such a repetitive, I guess, it's like you have shackles on, right? This is how you have to do things. It doesn't give you as much freedom as the last version did. I saw some comments in the last video. This is my feedback to those comments. What do you guys think? I personally think that we have a worse version of Mongoose Bite now that forces us into weaving back and forth between these two particular spells instead of giving us more freedom. So now it's almost like, oh, I don't want to be pressing Mongoose Bite until like I've spent all my other cooldowns. Like it's almost like, ugh, you know, like if I press Mongoose Bite once, let's say I go in by accident and press Mongoose Bite. Oh, no, that's not what I was supposed to do to start my rotation. Okay, so Kill Command, Explosive Shot, Kill Command, or the Flanking Strike bombs, right? But now Mongoose Bite is counting down. It's too late now. It's counting down to 0. I can't start my rotation now. I gotta wait for it to end. And okay, now we can go back in and do those weaving, right? So it kind of locks you into this playstyle, and you have to use it at the right time. And if you accidentally use Mongoose Bite before you were ready, it's too bad. You lose out on damage. So having Mongoose Bite not being a countdown that resets when you actually use Mongoose Bite again makes this so much worse. And Bloody Claws does not make this a better talent. Like Mongoose Bite does not become better because of it. It just makes it a worse version than the Dragonflight version, in my opinion. There was one person in the comments in the last video that said, oh, you know, I think you're exaggerating a little bit with this, like, because, you know, when you want some main survival hunter stuff like this is important to you. I want the spec to feel right. I would hate... I'm just going to be honest here. If this is the version that goes live, like I'm of course still going to play survival hunter. Like, it's no question about it. But I don't know how much I'm actually going to be keeping an eye out for this back and forth stacking here. Because, I don't know, it doesn't feel good to me. Does it feel good to you? To me, it doesn't. Like, of course, there's a rotation here. There's a Kill Command, Explosive Shot, Flanking Strike, Bomb, and then you weave. Kill Command, Mongoose Bite. Kill Command, Mongoose Bite. Kill Command, Mongoose Bite. Oh, we got a bomb up. Okay, we gotta use more Mongoose Bites. Boom, 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 boom. Right, get them out. Kill Command, Mongoose Bite. Kill Command, Mongoose Bite. I don't know. even if you do manage to actually get a lot of haste and like get more Mongoose Bites out at 5 stacks, the playstyle just isn't fun. That's what I'm trying to say here. Like, the playstyle just isn't fun, and it's more work to get somewhat what we have in Dragonflight. So with that said, what do you guys think? Is it more fun? Is it how you would like to see it? I've saw a lot of people have said, I'm just straight up not going to pick Mongoose Bite if this is like how it is, which would give you something like this, right? So you could, I don't know, pick one talent here, get some extra bleed damage, I guess, and attack speed. I don't know, like there's some people just want to completely avoid this altogether. I'm probably still going to be picking Mongoose Bite because it will probably, like, you know, give you more damage in the end. But I'd love to hear your opinions on it. This is my take. Again, I'm not a WoW expert, so to speak, that goes in and min-maxes at a crazy level. So maybe there's something I'm missing here. I'm looking at this from a, is it fun playstyle-wise point of view. How does it feel compared to Dragonflight? How does it feel compared to the last rework? In my opinion, this is worse. There is another playstyle here. Again, I'm not saying that this isn't gonna pump out more damage than the reworked version that we got. I'm just saying that the playstyle now of weaving and being forced to weave in order to extend the Mongoose Fury duration does not feel fun to me. It feels like a less fun version than Dragonflight. So with that said, I'm gonna end the video here. What do you guys think? And I'll see you guys next time.